What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. So I'm here with my little sister that does not have to say her name, but pretty much we just wanted to kind of follow up with her trading style. As you guys can imagine, me kind of like mentoring her and kind of guiding her in the right direction. It's going to be very similar to my trading style. There are some distinct differences. Something that you guys should know is that, you know, she's still in high school, so therefore when it comes down to her extracurricular activities and the time that she has, when it comes down to actually being able to day trade, it's not really there, right? So therefore we've made the transition over to focusing much more on quality swing trades and making sure that, you know, she can just follow up when, you know, certain alerts pop up within these certain stocks. I usually just send her a message letting her know where I'm buying in, where I'm selling, and then I break it down for her. If she sees value in it, then she takes the position, and if she doesn't, then she ends up not actually taking the position altogether. So these are pretty much kind of some things that she has set up around her room. Just wanted her to kind of briefly talk about. I'm going to be asking her a couple questions about what it is that she has set up. Again, I think that her trading style when it comes down to swing trading and trading on quality stocks can be something that's very similar to those that are currently in school, as well as those that are juggling like their careers and their jobs that are very, you know, limited when it comes down to their time. So I hope you guys find this video helpful. The previous video that we made when it came down to me actually teaching her how to trade in like, you know, 30 to 50 minutes, that video did very well and you guys found it actually very informative. So I hope that her trading style, and again, it's something very conservative that I don't think requires a complete genius to understand. Like, you know, and obviously, I mean, I think my little sister is like a very bright young lady. You know, she's a 3.8 GPA student, so overall she's pretty good with that. But when it comes down to the actual stock market, she was a complete noob, and she still doesn't understand. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So she doesn't have the complete understanding, but she has there for me to guide her in the right direction, and that's something that I do with the people that I mentor in my, you know, lesson library. So I hope you guys find this video helpful, and I'm just going to be asking her a couple questions, and then I'm going to have her also share kind of how she finds, not how she finds, because she finds all these stocks kind of just because I kind of feed her the different stocks that I'm trading, kind of the same way that I do with all the people that are part of our mentorship program and then TechBud Solutions as well. I usually just share my watch list, but I want to make sure that we just kind of talk about a little bit more on your experience when it comes down to swing trading and what your goals are and stuff like that. Again, this is kind of weird for us just because the goals that she has and what she aims for is all something that I structured for her just because she trades with, you know, my Robinhood account that I no longer use. So overall, it's a little different, but I hope it's somewhat informative and can guide you guys in the right direction. So if you guys haven't watched the previous video that I made with her, I break it down step by step. So if you're a complete beginner, that might be a better video for you, and then you can move on over here. This is kind of now that she learned the ropes and knows how to buy and sell. We just try to focus on quality stocks. So, I mean, based on your goals, what is it that you usually aim for?
So one of the goals that I have is to make 5% a week.
When it comes down to your goal of having 2 to 3 different positions per week, why is it that, you know, you think that you only want to take 2 to 3 positions if you have the opportunity to take many more?
So I only take about 2 to 3 positions per week because I am pretty busy with school and sports and stuff, and also like just my social life. I actually have homecoming today, and should I not say that? So yeah, I primarily just focus on the quality stocks that are gonna allow me to reach my 5%.
And then one of the most important things that we talk about is specifically within our group is not only having a goal when it comes down to a weekly basis. So I think 5% is very realistic. I kind of just wanted to put it into perspective for you guys. You know, we have people aiming sometimes for 5 to 10% growth a day, and it comes down to their day trades, and they're either, you know, just chasing stocks, trying to jump on, you know, the hottest quality picks. And for someone that's, you know, extremely busy just with their schoolwork and everything that they have going on, and still trying to manage all this hype behind all these, you know, trending stocks, it's not very realistic. And realistically, a lot of those people that, you know, try to focus on those hype stocks end up not being and achieving their consistent growth week after week. And what I mean by that is I feel like if someone's a little bit more goal oriented and, you know, is less overwhelmed on the amount of positions that they have to take every single day, and kind of sets a little bit more of an easy plan, it becomes a little bit more realistic for an individual to be like, okay, well, look, you know, I can take 2 to 3 different positions per week out of a 5-day period, right? I only have to achieve the 5%, you know, target that I have when it comes down to a weekly basis, 20% growth on a monthly basis. So I made a video when it came down to congratulating her on her 20% growth for one of the first weeks that she was actually actively trading. But one of the biggest things about that is that, she saw 20% growth that specific week. That's definitely not something that she's experiencing week after week. If anything, we had relatively a slow week this week, but it's something to work towards on a weekly basis. And if you don't achieve your goal, then that's not the end of the world. But as long as you're keeping your losses, smaller, that's something that I see that you have out there that, again, it came down to me kind of like trying to get her in the right direction, making sure that she focuses on. I didn't want her to be overwhelmed with options and the different type of stocks that she has to take. I didn't want her to focus on trading every single day because obviously she doesn't have the time for that. Therefore, it does not accommodate her type of lifestyle. And I wanted it to be something that's kind of self-sufficient for herself. So she can take about 20 to 30 minutes, on a weekly basis. She can find these quality stocks that I usually send her, and then she can plan out her trade. I really think one of the only things that she does that I don't personally do for her, it comes down to planning out her trades and actually executing. So when it comes down to that, all these stock filters that she has set up, all these kind of goals that she has them because I kind of wanted them to be realistic for her and wanted it to be something that she can actually achieve, because I feel like week after week, if she continues to just see this 5% growth goal a week, then when it comes down to long-term, being able to see this 20% goal on a monthly basis, and then the return that she can see per year, it could really open her eyes later on if she's making anywhere from $50,000 to $80,000 a year, regardless of what career she chooses to take part of. In the big picture, if she knows how to really just experience consistent profit in an efficient way, right? Big picture, she can start making an extra couple $1,000s on top of her normal source of income, which can actually live this financially free life. That just means that you don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. You know how to invest your money, and it's not because someone else is telling you to, but I'm right now trying to just build that foundation for her, so I no longer have to feed her these kind of stocks, and therefore she can kind of be branching off ideas with me as well. So when you say stop loss set at less than 2%, why do you think that's so important? Why would you want your losses to be less than your profits?
So obviously I want to continue to grow my account, and I'm going to want to get more profits than I am losses. So it just makes sense. I don't know.
So it comes down to managing risk. Yeah, it's a very, very simple breakdown, right? The only way that you'll continuously grow your account is if you can keep your losses smaller than your profits.
Yeah.
Therefore,
and like he said, I have all these goals for myself around my room and stuff, just so I can have that reminder. And I also, like he said, I'm also very new to this, so I just want to have these reminders just to like as a learning experience, because I'm still learning every day. Yeah, and he doesn't have these because obviously he knows what he's talking about, but I don't, on the other hand. So I just like to have these goals just as like a reminder.
All right, guys, but very quickly, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the stock filters that I have set up for her. And these are actually the stocks that I have at my house as well when it comes down to me actually suggesting a stock for her to take a look at. I make sure that they meet all the quality stock filters. She's a much more conservative trader because of the criteria that I set up for her. Again, she's taking much less positions than I am right now. Therefore, if I feed her 1 to 2 stocks a day, it's not going to be very realistic for her to actually take a position. But when it comes down to the stock filters, I'm sure that you guys could see right here. So one of the stock filters that we have set up is the 180-day uptrend. If you guys are part of the Tech Solutions group or even part of my mentorship, you know how important it is for me to actually be trading stocks that see a solid uptrend. So that's one of the first things that I like to focus on. A stock that's a reputable company that's seeing growth year after year or month after month, and that's seeing a consistent uptrend. Why do you want that? Well, when you invest your money, you want to make sure that it grows, right? So if I have, when I started her out with the $500, I didn't want her to lose $500. So if she was going to be trading these low cap penny stocks, it's going to be, she's going to end up, just draining her account because she doesn't really, the lower cap stocks don't tend to, see that consistent growth year after year. At least it's not very common. With that being said, she doesn't have the time to take advantage of those day trade opportunities in a very efficient manner. So I just felt like this was kind of going to be the best kind of niche for her in the market. So that's why we focus on a solid uptrend within 180 days. And then we buy the pullbacks. That's something that I talk about all the time. If you guys have watched any of my previous videos, that's something that I always talk about. And this is really when I send her an alert. I let her know, when it came down to us being exposed to F&F. F&F is a stock that was trading at $40 plus dropped all the way down to like $33. FNF is Fidelity, so a multi-billion-dollar company, and it's been seeing a solid uptrend year after year, or month after month. With that being said, we identified a pullback. We wait for it to start seeing an uptrend from when it identifies its support. And then once it does, I simply tell her to wait for the EMA to break above a 180-day chart. And then that's actually, I think, one of actually her criteria. So again, I send her another alert just because I know that she's not actively, watching these. But it comes down to I have her set her alerts on her Thinkorswim platform, and therefore she can get alerted when the stock actually breaks a certain price point. So I set our alerts when it came down to it breaking above $35. Therefore, I got alerted. She got alerted. I told her I was taking the position at $35.20. What did she do? She put a limit order at the $35.20. Then we ended up getting filled. So that's currently a position that we're currently taking place on. Right now, the last time I checked, it was at $35.80. So we're up a very small percentage. I think anywhere from around 1.5%. But again, it comes down to she has a very realistic and I think conservative, goal when it comes down to a weekly basis, and that's definitely what I want her to focus on. It's more of that consistent growth. Something that we focus on in the 180-day chart is when the RSI is below 180 days. So on the 180-day frequency, we make sure that the RSI is below 40. That's the easiest way that we can put it. And then wait for it to validate the support. So what does that mean? That means that when the stock is seeing that solid downtrend, that we don't just buy because it's oversold, but we wait for it to validate that support. So it kind of flatlines from that huge pullback. And then once it starts to flatline, it starts to indicate an uptrend. And if it's been experiencing a solid uptrend, it pulls back and then it starts to flatline and then starts to come back. Most likely we're going to see that this stock is going to recover and go back to experiencing that consistent uptrend. With that being said, that's simply what we wait for. It's nothing fancy. We're really trying to focus on much more quality stocks, as myself as well. If you guys have heard of any of the videos that I've been making lately, I want to focus less on day trades. So I want to focus on larger position sizes when it comes down to, taking positions anywhere from 10 to 15,000 and making sure that I'm focusing on stocks that see these solid uptrends, buying them at the dip and buying them when they break above the EMA. And then with that simple understanding, one of the most important things when it comes down to trading, even if you guys don't like my style of trading when it comes down to being a little bit more conservative and trading quality stocks, what's one of the most important things that I've told you about? The only way that you can stay green in your account is by what?
Managing risks.
So why is keeping your losses small so important? So keeping your losses, playing that defense, wouldn't you think that to be one of the most important things for that account? I think that's something that a lot of people don't take into consideration when it comes down to investing in the stock market, and that's why so many people, 90% of the market, experience those red days or lose money because they don't go on the defense. They don't manage the risk. They could see 10 to 20% growth one week, but the following week they're down 30%. How is that even possible? They had no plan, they didn't know where to cut losses, and they had no understanding of where it is that they bought that stock. There's no planning, there's no risk management. That's one of the most important things that I try to focus on, because when it comes down to making money and growing your account, I think month after month and every single trade that you take, one of the most important things that you have to be doing is to manage risk. Like investing in any market, you always want to make sure that there's form of risk management involved. But that's pretty much it, what we have for her stock filters. And then we have a couple stocks on her wall. She does it kind of funny. She has it on a piece of paper. I usually just keep it in my computer. But again, it comes down to this being her style and this works for her. She's currently taking 2 positions. Do you want to talk about the positions that you are currently taking? There are 2 positions that I took, but I actually sold one of those positions. She's still holding it.
Okay, so the 2 positions that I currently have, the first one is FNF. The entry I started at was $35.20. I plan to exit at $39.90, around there, and then
resistance is at $40, so that's why I told her to exit at $39.90.
And then to manage risks, the stop loss is going to be about $34.99.
And it's because the support is at $35, so therefore if it breaks that support, I just wanted her to cut losses pretty quickly, and overall we're managing her risk at like less than 1%. So
the second position that I have is UGAZ, and the entry was at $9.60, and I plan to exit at about $10.50, and then the stop loss is $9.99.
Okay, and that's one of the things that I didn't suggest for her. When it comes down to her entry being at 960, she got in a little bit before I did. If you guys saw my call out, there's a couple of traders that ended up doing very well. So if you guys follow me on my social media account, the link is down below. But you guys can see that I shouted out a couple people on my call out for you guys. I called it out when it was pulling back. Again, you guys is one that I trade very often. It's a gas ETF. I sent out the alert, sent her a message, and I was like, hey, look, I'm gonna buy when it breaks above the EMA. That really doesn't mean too much to her because she doesn't have access to all this when she's at school. But I told her the price point that I was going to buy at. She ended up buying right away. She bought in at $9.60. Her exit price point is a little bit above $10.50. I sold at $10.05. So I locked in profits right away. I guess she wants to, make a little bit more money. I'm not too sure what her plan is there, but she has her stop loss set at $9.99. So she's at least covering 40% of her, 40 cents of her profit that she's already made, but she's giving it enough cushion for it to, possibly continue trending up. I think she's being a little greedy, but regardless of what the case may be, that's her plan. And if it comes down to I seeing, it actually dropping, then I can always just send her a message to actually just sell automatically. But one of the other call-outs that I gave out this week, I think it was only for the people in the mentorship program, but it was HAWK, which is Hawk, and I'm going to break this one down just really quickly. So that one just broke above EMA. That one is seeing a solid uptrend, and I'm personally waiting for a break above $36. So with that being said, right now it's trading right around $35.80 if I'm not mistaken. So it does have a resistance right around $36. So it does have a lot of margin to make up. So with that being said, I have my alert set at $36. I'm going to go ahead and send her a message, and those are one of the top stocks that she's looking at for this upcoming week. It offers anywhere from a 10 to 15% profit margin, which is much more than what she's aiming for. Therefore, it's a stock worth looking at. And the potential for profit is also much greater than the potential for loss. Therefore, that risk management portion is already there. So overall, just wanted to quickly break down. I think we've talked about your goals, the stocks, quality filters. What's your goal overall? So, and I'm serious, when it comes down to what you're going to school for, does it have anything to do with investing in the stock market?
No, not exactly. I'm planning to go to school for business and, yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
No?
I want to do business, and I want to do fashion as well. I'm probably going to focus on fashion because that's what I'm most interested in, and that's something that I've always liked since I was younger. Something about fashion or cosmetics, I don't know, it has always drawn my attention. So
what does that have to do with business?
I don't know, because I think in the fashion industry, something that I want to do is be like a fashion merchandiser.
What does that mean?
Stop putting me on the spot. It's getting.
I don't know what it is.
That you don't know what fashion merchandiser? Okay, fashion merchandiser. I'm pretty sure it's.
All right, guys. But overall, I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, I hope. Yeah,
I mean,
definitely not very fashionable right now, just like her brother. So, thank you again. If you guys have any questions or want a better understanding of what it is that I do when it comes down to a day-to-day basis, when it comes down to trading, the first link in the description is going to guide you right over to my mentorship program. The current mentorship, when it comes down to this month, it's currently sold out. You guys can enroll in the lesson library. You guys can watch all those structured video lessons, so you have a complete understanding of what it is that has led to my success in the stock market, just like I'm doing right now with my little sister and with all the people that are currently in my mentorship program. The mentorship program, after this 1 month, we will be adding another 100 people, and then we will be mentoring those 100 people for the following month. So if you would like to be a part of that, that's going to be the first link in the description. Other than that, all the different links are down in the description as well. You guys have the option of being a part of TechBud Solutions. It's a free networking Facebook group. We have a little bit over now 50,000 members worldwide. The thing that we do best is we provide a free and simple platform for both new and experienced traders. All we ask you to do is to not spam or solicit any outside resources into this group. If you do, you'll simply be removed. Thank you guys again for everything that you guys do. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives you in your success. Just like my little sister and her little fashionista wishes or whatever it is that she wants to do. Hopefully, investing in the
fashion merchandiser.
Fashion merchandiser. Well, I think you're going to need to learn a little bit more about the stock market to be able to support that career. So thank you guys again, and like always, guys, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.
I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Whoa. Have I gone so too far? Do you detect something different? If you look